Right, we're good to go, Sybil. It's now 11:01.
Okay, thank you. Okay, good morning, committee members and other parties of interest. This is the bid review committee meeting for ITB 23-24297, construction for the FY23 Stormwater Neighborhood Works East, and ITB 23-24298, construction FY23 Stormwater Neighborhood Works West projects. Will be held in part by means of communications media technology. Active participation will be for committee members only, and provisions have been made for any member of the public desiring to have access to view the meeting. Again, this is the bid review committee meeting for the projects I initially listed. My name is Sybil Tucker. I am the procurement analyst for this project. For the record, this meeting has been publicly noticed and is being recorded. So at this time, we'll just have the members in the room to introduce themselves for the recording, please.
My name is Peter DeGolian. I'm the project manager for these bid packages.
Good morning, Sandra Gonzalez, Capital Programs.
Mark Martinette, Management Budget.
Dana Mackey, Capital Programs.
Thank you. Before we get started with the discussion and the voting, I'll just give a brief overview of why we've convened today. As required by board policy, a bid review committee meeting must convene to review any capital project of $50,000 or more where the low bid exceeds the construction estimate by 10% or more. The estimate on this project, which is again ITB 23-24297, the FY23 Stormwater Neighborhood Works East project, the estimate for this project was $6,250,531.22, and the bid from PCS Sybil Inc. came in at $7,966,139.15, which is approximately roughly 28% over the estimate. That bid amount does include the allowances that were listed in the bid documents. So we'll just do one project at a time just to, for clarity purposes. So we'll go ahead with the discussion for the Stormwater Neighborhood East project. And I'll turn it over to you, Peter, to begin the discussion. Once you guys vote on this one, then we'll move on to the West project.
Thank you, Sybil. Yeah, I went back and looked at some of the bid items on here, and I think our discrepancies for most of the projects is just the age of the engineer's estimates that we had. Most of them are over a year old, some of them as much as 2 years old, and there's been a pretty significant increase in construction costs and materials since then. So I think that's between the inflation, the product availability, most of the cost is reasonable. There was one project we have in here that included quite a few non-standard items. On this John Moore Road, there's pump trucks and construction of special detours and temporary traffic signals. And for pump trucks, the bid estimate was $3,200 a day versus $500 a day in my engineer records estimate. So there's a pretty significant difference there. Special detour costs are like $65 a square yard versus $11.37 from the EOR. So there's a few items there where we're potentially going to add 2 or 3, maybe even $400,000 to that project just because of these one-off type of things. I don't think there's a whole lot they can do about that. They do appear to be kind of standard prices in the market for this day and time. So I would recommend that we accept the bid as is and move on and get these projects going. Do you have any thoughts on that? I know from the construction side, do you have any thoughts or comments on that?
No, I don't have any specifics. I think we hit on the ones. Kind of like the ones that we moved on.
Okay. And do we have money available if we need to do this?
That's more, I mean, there's plenty of money in those master projects here for the east one, says the Senator here, that fits within our claims.
Yes, it does. So I concur with your recommendation and we will proceed with awarding the contract.
A second.
Okay, so
So all in favor?
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. For approval to proceed with the ITB 2324297, the FY23 Stormwater Neighborhood Works East project. So, we'll go on to the next one, which is again ITB 2324298, construction of the FY23 Stormwater Neighborhood Works West project. Again, a bid review committee must convene to review any capital project of $50,000 or more where the low bid exceeds the construction estimate by 10% or more. The estimate on this project was $6,981,928.36. The bid from PCS Sybil came in at $8,056,830, which is approximately 15.4% over the estimate. Again, this bid price does include the allowances that were included in the bid document. So with that, I'll turn it over again to Peter to discuss the bid prices for the West project.
Thank you, Sybil. So this one, we're exceeding our engineer's estimate by approximately 15%, which, given that most of these bids are, as with the previous project, over a year old, the 15% increase is very reasonable, given what we've seen in terms of just changes in costs and things and inflation over this time period. So I have no problem at all with this exceedance over the original engineer's estimate. Y'all have any comments?
One question says, in this one, there's two projects that are brought in that are ARP funded that have a smaller budget. So I didn't know what work is being, out of this bid, if it can be afforded within those ARP, whatever portion was being the ARP projects. You have 46188 and 46189. So that one is 46188 is 1.5 million in budget, and 46189 is 2.9. So it's a little more complicated to add money to an ARP project. We try to keep that just ARP funded only. So I don't know if the portion of that bid that's supposed to do those two, if that's okay.
So definitely the prices will be affected also on those projects since they came from that master. Do you have the name of those projects?
Yeah.
Ones are the ARP.
Oh, so one is the Florence Village local, and the other one is the
That's a general.
water quality used.
So that's the one on 78th Street. Yeah. So that's sort of, I'd have to go back and look at that individual cost. I think that's larger than what, I mean, the individual project is much less than the 1.5 million. So I don't think there's a problem there. I think any exceedance would come out of the general funds.
So we don't foresee any issue, but yes, we're conscious about those projects coming from those funds.
Yeah, it's not quite as flexible as the master projects where you have a larger bucket. There's a little bit smaller bucket, and we gotta get approval from above to add money to those projects. Yeah, this is ARP.
So all in all, there is money from whatever funds to cover the project, correct? To cover award of the bid, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of money in these projects right now. It just depends what portions or which pieces are assigned to which projects. So that's what I was asking, make sure at least the parts that are going to the two ARP funded ones have funds. I can't judge that myself, so.
Okay.
But it seems maybe that's.
Yes.
We have a motion? Make a motion?
I make a motion to approve the bid as is.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All righty. Motion carried to award the West project to PCS Sybil. So with that said, the committee has voted to move forward with award for both the ITB 2324298, the FY23 Stormwater East project, as well as ITB 2324298, 97, the Stormwater East and West project. We will move forward with awards for both bids. So if there's no other topic of discussion, we have concluded the bid review committee meeting for these projects, and we thank you again for your time today. That will conclude the meeting. Janet, you can
Go ahead.
Yes, you can end the recording. That concludes the meeting for today. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.